And welcome back. This is episode 3 of CaliJack's tutorial series on Simutrans. I'm kind of showing you through playing the game how to set up the game. So let's get going, shall we? First off, we'd already established Calico and Western, and there's one thing I do want to do, and that's to kind of declare that this is Calico and Western's territory. So we're going to say this is Calico Western. First dispatch. And put that sign there. That sort of lets us know that, hey, this is our territory over here. We've already got the bus leaving skid marks for its speed records and such. Now we could expand him, or we could go over and start the other guy. And let's go ahead and start the other guy because he's going to be a slightly different play style setup in that we've got a different lineup to a power station there, slightly more distance, or is it? Nope, about that same short distance. So it's not going to be a huge money maker. You need distance in this game in order to make money, because it's by the mile or by the kilometer or whatever. Sorry, I am still fighting the last remnants of a series of colds the past 2 weeks. So we are going to take a look at what we are setting up over here. And the first thing you have to do is open your list. I have moved it to a different spot. Open the player list, and then these little arrows let you switch between the companies. So we're going to switch to Eastern Transports and start working their system up so that they start making money. Eastern has a slightly different setup here that they've got to deal with. Let's go ahead and close out all of our windows for a second and turn off the trees. Turn on that grid. We've got a fairly flat run over here to where this guy is at. So the question is, how do we want to run this train? And again, we're going to do it as a train. We're going to leave the grid on so that you can see what the play looks like with a grid. And we've got to decide, how are we getting that train over here? There's really just not too many ways. And I think that's the way right there. So we're going to build his first train. Like this. And then come in to serve our spot. Now we got to do a little terraforming here. So we'll do that terraforming. Again, we're going to take the shallow slope, and we're going to put the slope to there. That gives a maximum amount of space, or at least a better length of space in between slopes, which prevents the trains from slowing down as much. Next, we need to look at, where do the people come from? All the workers live in Pinedon. Pinedon is where? There. So that's a long run to Pinedon. So we're going to need another train to bring people over from Pinedon to work at the mine. So it's going to be a train, and bus. And here comes the other question. Should it be all on electric? If that's the case, then we'll be changing the name of this company. And you can do that mid-game to reflect maybe a change in management style, whatever. So we're going to look at that too as well. As we sit here, thinking this through, let's go ahead and get that first train running. So the first things we have to do is put in them freight stations. I'm going to use the dark ones again. This one we're going to go with a 4-length train. And see, it'll go a little bit slower. It'll have a little bit less, but it'll produce more. And we need to take and do our little train yard thing. So where is that train yard going to be? We're going to park it, the train yard, here. So there's our depot. And we're going to go ahead and open this guy up, grab the sign. Whoops. Grab the sign, the place marker. And that's Depot 1. And there's one other thing I want to do here and show you that you can do. Let's go ahead and close out all the confusing windows. And in the options, if you click the wrench and screwdriver, there's this guy, player color. So we kind of want to give a much different color. So we're going to go with an orange and a off orange color. There we go. For this guy. A little bit different look. Again, we were on pause, so let's go ahead and unpause. Get our train set up. We're going to get the same thing as he did, or should we go a little bit more power? It's lower power. So I'm going to stick with the Sacker. We're going to take and do our cars. And we can go to 4. And it takes us down to 44. 38. So we want to stay at 44. We're going to set a schedule. Go from that end to that end. Full load from the coal mine to the power station. And we're going to call this the Eastern Collier 1. Another thing you can do is you can also name your trains. So we're going to call this the Eastern 01 on the engine. And start him running so that he's making that company some money. Another thing you can look at now as they start running against each other is what sort of money you're making against each other. Now, he won't appear until he makes money. So, but we can use the crown to get our player rankings based upon vehicle earnings, operational profit, the margin, number of passengers, amount of mail, goods transported, account balance, net wealth, or convoys. Right now, of course, Calico's got the lead. Now, another thing I am thinking about is how I want to run this train. So to get the passengers, we're going to put one right beside it. Don't have to hold control. And then we're going to run this train right over to here. And there we go. Now we're going to grab a passenger station. And we're going to grab one of the bigger stations. No, it's early. Let's just go 2 small stations we can always upgrade. And I'm going to bring him down to there. And we're going to grab a signal. The reason we're grabbing this rail signal is to allow, one, this train to operate without this train interfering. And to do that, we kind of got to put a train signal here as well, so that when this train's over here, you can come out, get onto this line. Otherwise, it's blocked, except for when it's in the station. And that makes it a little bit more easy to dispatch. So that's our first dealing with station signals, or track signals. It's early, we're doing the two-way signal, so that it can go both ways, so that we can replace the trains. We're going to grab this guy. He runs a little bit faster than the other guy. And we're going to run this. So the simple 110 car holds 48 passengers, so we'll do 2 of them. We can do a third one if we want, and down the road we could also add a mail car if we wish. And we may want to do that down the road. Right now, I don't want to. So with that, we now got to schedule him. And we're going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to move this guy over here, park him right there, schedule, and move the schedule window over it. So he's going to go from this station to here, but the Pinedon Monument Station is the first station that we need. And we're going to set it to 20%. The ET are and we'll just make a joke on the old Pullman cars with Pushman's cars. Matter of fact, we're going to make it generic and call it the Pushfolk cars. Now, by having 20% people load here before it goes, that guarantees us a certain number, so 20 passengers. And it will tell us what our amount is per mile here in a few minutes. That's set. We're now ready. Can close this out, and we're going to also name him. And this is going to be Pinedon's Pride 02 train. So the Pinedon's Pride 02. Oops, can't find a route. Why? Right there. See how I got these little red markers where the right beside this on the tracks? Those indicate that I've got a break in the track. Make that. Start him up. He's going to start running. Now we need to come over to here and pull a road out and get some bus service so that we can pull people from this side of town over to the station. So, go to the road, grab the bus stop. We're going to put one here to serve the monument, one here, and one down here. Then we're going to grab an actual road, run it out of town a ways, and put our bus barn. Grab a stole just like before. We don't want to spend a lot of money on this. And we're going to have it start over here, come to here, here to here, copy backwards so that it'll do that as a back and forth route. Prime Avenue. So that we know that that's a eastern line. Matter of fact, we're going to call it the ETC, Eastern Transport Company. And because Eastern's a little bit more friendly than Calico, we're going to name the bus as well. And this is the Prime Avenue Pacer. Grab another stole because we have a secondary area that's going to need some service. And we're going to try to generate some traffic outside of town, right about here with another stop, to let this company function a little bit differently. I'll close the train depot. Might be less confusing if I don't have the train depot open. And we're going to go, again, it's a stole. Because I'd done those stops, I've got to take and click on this. So we go back to add a stop. He's going to stop here, here, come over to here, then to here, and then go back. And this one is going to be Parallel Parkway. Stole. Perpendicular parkway, perpendicular. And again, because they're happy, little company trying to take and do it. Perpendicular. Just because, you know, that adds a little flavor to the game. So he's got his system running. He's already running people. We've got the 20 customers on board, it looks like. Maybe a few more. And this is a good point to call this one another vid. Hey, I'm CaliJack. This is our Simutrans tutorial. Hope you're enjoying it and have a better day than I'm having.